Thank you for tuning in to Playing One Inc. I'm your host, Agent 2Ks, always on a mission to get you that champion. In this month, November, 133 games are scheduled to come out, but we've rounded it off to the top 10 most anticipated games for this month so far. Without further ado, let's not waste time and get straight into it. First on our list, we have Watch Dogs Legion. Ubisoft is taking the hacking action to a futuristic post-Brexit London. Originally set for release in March 2020, the studio announced Watch Dogs Legion was being pushed back and currently has a vague release date window between the 2020 and 2021 fiasco year. Still, with everything we know about the return of Watch Dogs so far, it certainly looks like it will be worth the wait. One of the most exciting aspects of the adventures in London is that you will be able to play as absolutely anyone in the city. Yep. Every NPC is playable. If you want to play as a grandma with a taser, you can. Dirt 5 is the latest off-road driving experience from Codemasters, and this time we're going more extreme than ever. Along with tracks set across a global stage, including New York City, Brazil, and remote areas of China and Greece, the game will also offer more ways to play than ever before. 4-player split-screen modes are returning, and there's a new game mode specifically designed for co-op play ranging from your couch to global online battles. Plus, there's even a narrative-driven career mode to explore, which will feature voice acting talents like Nolan North and Troy Baker. All of this can be played in a non-linear format too, so you get to play more of what you want. Coming down to number 8 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's time to make a leap of faith into the Viking era. The latest entry to Ubisoft's long-running series, you play as Eivor, male or female, a Viking raider who must lead their clan from the icy plains of Norway into the new home of England. This is in the Dark Ages though, so England is a nation led by a collection of petty lords and warrior kingdoms. Will you conquer this land? You'll find out soon enough. Coming down to rank 7 is Godfall. As one of the first games to be announced for Sony's next-gen console, Godfall is set to land on the PS5 at the tail end of the year. Developer Counterplay Games described it as a loot-driven action RPG with a focus on real-time melee combat. The new IP is set in a fantasy universe with heroic knights, arcane magic, and forbidden realms. The game can also be played in co-op or solo as you desire. We don't know much about this looter slasher, but the shiny action-packed trailer and the game's high fantasy setting is certainly attention grabbing. I'm definitely excited about this game. Coming down 6 in the ranks is Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's a role-playing video game developed and published by Sega. It is the 8th main release of the Yakuza series and was released in Japan for PlayStation 4 on January 16, 2020. It is scheduled for a worldwide release on November 10, 2020. In contrast to the previous Yakuza game that focused on the life of Kazuma, a man trying to lead a former life following the removal from the Tojo clan. This game instead introduces a new character by the name Kazuga. After being imprisoned for 18 years, Kazuga goes on a personal quest to become a hero alongside other player characters. This game will offer both Japanese and English audio to the player. Coming down 5th in our ranks would have to be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is set during the Cold War in the 1980s. The story is inspired by actual events and the campaign features locations such as East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, and the Soviet KGB headquarters. Players can create a custom character for the campaign, codenamed Bell, with options for different skin tones, ethnic backgrounds, and genders, as well as different personality traits that provide in-game perks. The campaign will have multiple endings depending on your player choice throughout the campaign. Coming down number 4 to the ranks would have to be Jurassic World Evolution. Jurassic World Evolution is a business simulation game that allows the players to construct a Jurassic World dinosaur theme park with attractions and research facilities. Players must build an expedition center which sends scientists to fossil dig sites to obtain dinosaurs' DNA material. DNA sequencing, which can be done in the fossil center, unlocks new dinosaurs and updates the statistics, such as lifespan and resilience. With enough DNA content, players can use the creation lab to breed and incubate dinosaurs. Players can also improve the dinosaurs' genes by integrating DNA from modern species with that of the dinosaurs to fill their gaps and allow them to evolve. Modifications to the dinosaurs' DNA change their base statistics, as well as everything from their level of aggressiveness to their appearance. The game features a terrain tool which allows players to modify their environment by planting trees and creating water sources. Coming down to number 3 in our ranks is Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Beyond Light is an upcoming major expansion for Destiny 2, a first-person shooter video game developed by Bungie. It is scheduled to be released on November 10, 2020 as the 5th expansion of Destiny 2. Players will travel to Jupiter's icy moon Europa to confront the darkness, which will become a new power for the player. The expansion will also see the return of the Exo Stranger from the original Destiny's campaign, as well as Varix from the original game House of Wolves expansion. Beyond Light will add content across the game, including missions, player versus environment locations, player gear, weaponry, and a raid. Some of the less played locations and activities from Destiny 2 will be cycled out of the game, while locations and activities previously explored in the original Destiny, such as Earth's Cosmodrome, will return. Beyond Light will be the first expansion of Destiny 2 to be released on new platforms, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Bungie has described this expansion as the beginning of a new era for Destiny's franchise. Coming up at number 2 is SpiderMan Miles Morales. Miles Morales is an up-and-coming adventure game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Based on the Marvel Comics superhero Miles Morales, it will be the second game in the Marvel Spider-Man series, following Marvel Spider-Man that came out in 2018. The narrative continues from where Marvel Spider-Man and its downloadable content, The City That Never Sleeps, left off, during which Miles Morales was bitten by a genetically enhanced spider and gained powers similar to Peter Parker's. A year after the first game's conclusion, Morales trained under Parker and has fully integrated himself into the role of a Spider-Man. Though he has yet to gain the experience, he must balance supporting his mother's campaign for city council and defending both his new home in Harlem and the rest of New York City from a gang war between Roxxon Energy Corporation and a high-tech criminal army called the Underground, led by the Tinkerer. Parker tells Morales that he has to be like his late father and walk on the path to becoming a hero for the city of New York. And number 1 on our list is Cyberpunk 2077, which is coming out in November 19, 2020. The most anticipated game for the whole of November, probably for the whole year, and if I'm pushing it, the 21st century. In 2077, America is in pieces. Megacorps control life in all aspects from the top floors of their sky-high fortresses. Down below, drug-pushing gangs, dirty tech hustlers, and slingers of illicit brain dancers run the streets. The world is in between, where sex and pop culture mix with violent crime, extreme poverty, and the unattainable promise of the American dream. In a world where you have no future, what matters is that you control who you are. To survive and protect your independence, you modify your body with advanced cyberware and take jobs others would never dare. You choose to live free, bound by no systems or controls. The only rules you have is to obey your own. Because you're a cyberpunk. In Cyberpunk 2077, you play as V, a hired gun on the rise, and you just got your first serious contract. In a world of cyber-enhanced street warriors, tech-savvy netrunners, and corporate life hackers, today you take your first step towards becoming an urban legend. And there you have it, top 10 games for November 2020. I'll see you guys back in December.